Thank you. Welcome to the Armistice Party Bucket, looking ahead to 1998, the year in which Tony Blair promises to put the internet in every school. Though there are signs that Labour really haven't thought through the implications of this. There we are. That's them doing double French there. It's the year of the World Cup, and as final preparations get underway for Britain to lose its bid to host it in 2006, the government reveals plans for the construction of an impressive 5-stadium football multiplex. It's the UCI Footiplex in Ross-on-Wye, showing popular matches in the large grounds and smaller Eastern European games in the Art House Stadium. Now, it's the year in which the Queen will finally resolve all doubts about the succession by announcing she's going to remain Queen permanently. When she dies, her head will be cryogenically preserved in a box of frozen nitrogen and will be used to greet visiting dignitaries. And following Britain's success last year in driving the first supersonic car in Nevada, John Prescott will this year announce plans for an integrated supersonic transport policy to alleviate 200 miles an hour traffic jams building up in the Nevada desert with a possible desert widening scheme. And finally, it'll be the year the BBC will have to defend John Humphreys against Labour's constant accusations that he keeps interrupting them with his pertinent questions.
Do you want to cut the starting rate of tax from 20 pence in the pound to 10 pence in the pound?
Yes, I would like to. That's a long-term objective of the Labour Party.
There are some people, perhaps many people, who don't work at the moment because it doesn't pay them to work.
What I said yesterday
and you're assuming that if you change that, then many of those people who aren't now working will work.
Well, look,
you say you would like to cut the starting rate to 10 pence. How would that work?
Well, I think inevitably you would...
Is any of it doable, achievable now?
You can't ask me, therefore, to make a judgment.
Ah, but I can, you see.
Let me finish this point.
What you're saying quite clearly from everything you've said this morning is that you would oppose that.
Well, I prefer...
No, let me explain. What you said this morning is that your proposals are based on principle.
Exactly.
Well, but you're not saying that.
But John, of course my proposals are fair.
You want to be able to say,
not at all.
This is our principle, this is where we stand. We're not actually going to oppose
look,
that.
John,
so
look,
you're
John,
saying we want this, but we want to oppose that.
Look, John, the principle is...
What you seem to be saying is, gentlemen, those are my principles. We won't oppose it.
Well, I don't want
Brown, thank you very much.
Thank you.
There we are, Peter David, new year. Are you excited by the prospect of a new dawn of opportunities as we go hurtling towards February?
I don't know, 1998, it's a sort of non-event year. It's like the last dull year, isn't it? There's 1999, we'll all be excited about the millennium, and then 2000, we'll be celebrating the millennium. 2001, there's the Space Odyssey, we'll be celebrating that. And also the tossers that didn't celebrate the millennium in 2000, because actually it's 2001, they'll be celebrating.
I was going to say 2003, when the Millennium Dome opens.
The funny thing is about this millennium is we're hurtling towards it, and the closer you get, the more boring it gets as an idea. I mean, it's 2 years' time.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, so exciting.
No, it doesn't. The 2 years' time dome. Tonight I'm going to party like it's next year.
In the cult 70s show, Space Soon.
And of course, there's that film company. Very soon after the millennium, there's a film company that will have to be known as Last Year Fox.
And apparently, we're going into 1998 with one of the hardest governments ever. And in the words of the song, things can only get tougher, as was evident from the message at one of Labour's recent press conferences.
They are getting very scary, and Tony Blair, he's been proving just how tough he is. Put one foot wrong, and he'll come down on you like a ton of new bricks. Veteran gaff machine Claire Short found out when she talked a load of old sense on Breakfast with Frost.
I think the fact that a lot of young people use cannabis and see it as relatively unharmful.
It's new Labour, it's tough Labour. Tough choices, new choices, tough on the causes of choices. Best of all has been the arrival of a brand new breed of toughest ever Labour politician. They kiss your baby and they carry guns. Exercise before the election, the military wing of the Labour Party.
Did you like that? We were tough there, weren't we?
That was tough. I think we got the message. Now, can I just ask you a question? There are some who've said you're simply the Labour shadow cabinet who saw the SAS documentary on telly and thought it looked really good and put lots of balaclavas on and ran around.
All right, well, who are you then?
Well, because of our need to preserve our anonymity, I cannot reveal that. But I assure you I am not Jack Straw.
Right, and that's not David Blunkett. That's not his dog.
No.
And who are you not?
I'm not Harriet Harman.
And who are you not?
John Prescott.
And I'm not Robin Cook.
OK, New Labour. Now, you say that you are prepared to make tough choices, yes?
Yes.
OK. Choices that may not be easy, they may not be popular.
Yes, tough choices.
All right, tough choices. It's 11 o'clock at night, you're at a restaurant, you have had a lovely meal. Here's the sweet trolley. Now, what are you going to choose?
But you can only have one who'll be sick. Come on, make it up.
When we talk about tough choices,
Black Forest Gatto looks very nice.
No, actually, I fancy profiteroles.
Okay, now. Okay, we'll have the cheese.
Cheese?
Yeah, but it's not sweet, it's healthy. It's the tough choice. Cheese!
Choice number 2, career or baby?
Baby. But smack it!
OK, good. All right, tough choice number 3. Sister Wendy, shag or die? all right, you're doing well, but let's try something a bit harder. Right. OK, now, here's a lovely little kitten, and here's a cuddly little puppy. All right? There they are. Right, now, which one are you going to shoot?
What do you mean? What do you mean shoot? I'm not going to shoot anything.
No way.
Are you scared?
Political party with a
Are you scared?
Make a choice, you're under pressure. Oh, come on, it's easy. It was like, we'll have cheese, or we'll shag Sister Wendy. We give you a really tough choice, you win both. Hey, I hope Tony's not watching.
Yeah, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that New Labour are unable...
I'm going to shoot the cat.
Right, good. OK.
Okay, wait, hang about.
Let's go.
Just a second, hang on. This is Jackie. This is the lovely little girl who owns this kitten. Are you still going to shoot it?
Listen, you soft git, we're still going to shoot it!
Yeah! New Labour, you have just shot this little girl's tiny kitten on national British television. Oh, what's that? And we've just heard that's gone down very well with the public and Labour's gone up in the polls. Well...
Where's the dog? We'll shoot that as well.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen, the military wing of the Labour Party. They've proved their point. Thank you.
As of yesterday, Britain took on the presidency of the European Union. It's the nearest Blair will get to his ambition of having Britain at the heart of Europe, unless Europe also takes in the Atlantic Ocean and the east coast of America. But people don't really understand the impact Europe will have. For example, most of us aren't even aware that we've all just enjoyed our last ever British Christmas.
That's right, the problem is that Christmas is inefficient. We give presents on the 25th of December. In Italy, it's January the 6th. In Germany, the 1st of December. But from next year, these dates will converge and form the new single European Christmas, which has been determined as today, January the 2nd. Merry European Christmas.
Yes, and Santa, he's going to be out the window as well. He's got his big P45, and instead of him, kids will be required to believe in a new character. It's Miguel. He's on the show now. Round of applause, please, for Miguel. Whoa, Miguel. Now, let me just explain. Miguel has 15 eyes, one for each of the member states, so that he can watch the children of each country to see if they're being good. There's also a couple of spare sockets around the side here for future members.
Come on, children, come on.
Come on, Miguel. Now, every January the 2nd at 2:30, Miguel will emerge from your ventilation system. So what you've got to do that morning is either make or buy a cork board, right? Then hang it up near the ventilation system, and what will happen is at 2:30, Miguel will come out of your vent, and he'll pin on a check. All right? Now, that cheque will be to your national equivalent of the value of 100 Deutschmarks, which is about 30 quid.
It's very traditional to leave a bottle of cologne for Miguel to take back to all his little helpers in Dublin.
It's exciting, isn't it, eh? But don't worry, you can meet Miguel before Christmas. If you go to a department store, you can visit Miguel at his bureau de Christmas. Come on. Oh, here. See Miguel. Look at him.
Form a nice queue over here. That's okay.
Now, tell Miguel your name.
My name is Leah.
That's yeah, which means how would you like your cheque?
Scared.
All right, never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, the single European Christmas. Don't you just love it?
Believe in him. Believe in him. Believe in him. Now, one thing to look out for this year is that more and more politicians will be making speeches with jokes in them because they actually think that jokes make them look more human. We spotted this trend during the general election, so what we did is we went through all the speeches made by politicians over the last year, removed the jokes and turned them into 3 stand-up comedy routines. So I did all the Tory jokes, David did the Labour jokes, and Peter drew an extremely short straw by doing all the Lib Dem ones, and we all performed them in various comedy clubs. Now, we didn't tell the audience what we were doing. They thought they were genuinely our jokes. Here's how we got on. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you. So, there's an election on. You see the election? Or was it just me? Yeah, I was just looking at the Labour Party. I mean, they're a bit odd, aren't they? They're a bit funny. Because if you look at their expenditure policy, you see, it's in such disarray. Right, I reckon it's in such disarray that if Labour get in, the taxpayer will be carried over more thresholds than Zaza Gabor or Elizabeth Taylor.
You ask me, they're all as bad as each other. Yeah, they're all as bad, except for one man, Prescott. Isn't he great? Yeah. He is the man, isn't he? Yeah. I mean, the Tories, they say of Prescott, they say, you know, you can't understand the word he's saying. His syntax is all over the place. I keep talking about his syntax. Well, I thought syntax was the 23rd Tory tax rise.
In Eastleigh the other day and said, what's the difference between the Conservative Party and a larder? And I said, I don't know, what is the difference between the Conservative Party and a larder? And he said, one's clapped out embarrassment from the 1980s and the other one's a Russian car.
The other day I noticed that Tony Blair, he pulled out of that debate. Right, you all remember, he pulled out of that debate. And the Tories sent a chicken round. Now, I don't know about you, but turkeys may not vote for Christmas, but I don't think chickens are going to turn up for television broadcasts.
You'll like this. You'll like this. I see Captain Jean-Luc Picard has come out for Labour. Did you see that? Did you see that? Patrick Stewart, the actor, yeah? He's come out for Labour. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Well, I say one thing, we've got a few Klingons here, haven't we? Got a few Klingons here. First of all, there's John Major clinging on till the last minute. And then there's the ultimate Klingon in Tatton, Neil Hamilton. Yeah.
Yeah. Labour Party are terrible, though. They're into privatisation now. Yeah, rail privatisation. Do you know what we should do with rail privatisation? Stop it dead in its tracks.
I think the Labour Party are a tin of beans. Half-baked beans. And the Liberal Democrats are has-beens. Don't you think? Politics is like bicycling. The more you bicycle, then the faster you'll get to where you want to go. Thanks very much. Thanks.
Anyway, you've been a great audience. I'll leave you with this thought, and this thought alone. You can't tell all the truth all the time. Thank you very much. Good night.
I'd just like to leave you with the words of Gladstone's wife, who said, William, you would be an unbearable bore if you were not such a great man. Thank you.
Now, of course, 1998 will, of course, see the Football World Cup, and the statistics for that organisation will be staggering. 10 million bottles of Coke sold, 600,000 programmes bought, and 3 goals scored.
There's a lot of sport coming up this year, the World Cup, Winter Olympics, and it would be really nice to win something. It really would. So what we've decided on this show, we've invented a sport that Britain is guaranteed to win. It's a radical new ball game. It combines everything that we in Britain are good at: determination, stamina, courage, and costume drama. It's called Association Costume Drama, and Peter and I love it.
And here come the teams, the costume drama teams, onto the lawn. Now, Association Costume Drama is a team of skill, flair, daintiness, and dresses. So let the game commence.
Pray, my friend, take this post-haste to the opponent's goal. I shall, sir.
There's a captain. And there's the music. Off we go. The men have got possession of the ball. And they keep it mightily.
Pardon me, madam, but I shall not be trifled with.
Good defence there. And some flirting going on there.
What a handsome bird. Aha!
Oh, the flirting.
I have it!
You sly creature, you.
Lady
The ladies have the ball, and that's vexed the men cruelly.
Madam, I've news of your aunt. She's dead.
Oh, that's a foul. She hasn't got an aunt.
She's fainting, we're fainting.
Lord, I am distracted. I can support this no longer.
Oh, she's milking you.
Oi!
My card, sir.
And the referee's showing him a card with the word blackguard written on it.
Foolhardy or a fool side, demand satisfaction!
He's demanding satisfaction. The referee's having nothing of it. And he's given the ladies a free proposal. So the men have to line up on their knees for the proposal. He wants them 10 yards back, most fastidiously in my book.
Gentlemen, to left, if you be so kind.
A few words there from the goalie, a most vulgar chap.
Forgive me, but I must speak. I desire your hand in marriage.
There's the proposal. Yes. The men have the ball. Lord Cedric's got the ball. He's dribbling back onto Shearer, and now the goalkeeper's got the ball. Over to Lord Falderide. No, back into Lord Cedric, who runs a merry jig through the ladies' legs. The ladies' legs are all over the place.
Sorry, I dropped my gun. Perhaps you'll be so kind as to pick it up.
Well, of course, madame.
Cheers.
It's worked.
My reputation!
Oh, she's been called a whore, and quite rightly so, in my opinion. And the referee has ordered a dancing scrum. Some of these dancing scrums can go on for days. In goes the ball. Lady Peter's got the ball. She's through everyone. She's just got the goalie to beat, so it's to the right, to the left. Is she going to go for the... No, she's through. How jolly. Tis a goal. The goalkeeper just did not see that dance rhythm coming. And they'll be dancing up and down in the house of Lord and Lady Rothermere tonight. And the ladies' costume drama team are through to the quarter-finals, where they'll meet Brazil.
Now, I've just been looking at some of the toys that are going to be big this year, and here's one that I'm going to give to all my favourite children. It's a Jerry Adams doll. There you go. Now, if things get a bit rough over the year and the ceasefire breaks down, don't worry, because it quickly does this. There you are.
Now, a lot of children didn't actually get a visit from Santa this year. Oh. But what happened was they failed to meet Labour's new behaviour standards. And they all appeared on Jack Straw's Christmas name and shame list. We've got some of them here, just in case you see them in the street.
Yeah.
Animals.
Now, that is Jamie. He actually said bum last February.
Oh, shame. That's Thomas. No, he did a poo on the carpet and a poo on his brother. So 3 strikes and you're out. Now, Jack Straw's been busy recently because he's attempted to win more popularity by being tough on a persistent Myra Hindley. Straw says not only should she stay in prison, but to make matters worse, she should spend the rest of her days strapped to a waltzer. Part of the reason the public don't like Hindley is that photograph that was taken of her in 1960. Now, maybe if she'd hired an image consultant and organised a relaunch, then maybe Straw would have been a bit kinder to her.
I mean, it is all about public opinion, ultimately. I mean, look at Louise Woodward, right? I mean, you hear people saying, if you look at all the evidence, if you watched all the footage, as I did, really gave 100% attention, then you'd see that she was innocent. And they say, well, who did it? Oh, it's the mother. You can see in her eyes.
I got this, actually, at Christmas, because it's good to sell videos with extra material, and this is the Louise Woodward trial with previously unseen evidence.
Just going back to the law and order thing, actually, because we got involved ourselves last year, because we managed to resolve the O.J. Simpson question even before his civil trial came up last year, when I went to meet O.J. Simpson on his visit to the Oxford Union.
Hey, my man, I thought you weren't going to be here.
No, I made it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. Thanks. Luke.
Now, despite the doubters and the knockers, Labour has set about honouring its campaign pledges to help the more vulnerable members of society. Bernie Ecclestone, the royal family, single businessmen with 2 or more offshore tax havens. And all this was made possible by Gordon Brown and his Treasury team befriending the markets and aggressively wooing the city. Those were already working. For them, things haven't really changed since the election. Job insecurity is still rife, what with downsizing, companies tightening their belts, and the prospects of thousands of single mothers and disabled people swamping the job market. We visited an average office to see how people were coping with job insecurity.
In Britain's offices today, pressure on employees is at an all-time high.
Things are very tough around here. There's a man came in for an interview the other day, and he was actually sacked during the interview. Rather sickening, really. He'd actually got the job and was sacked before he was able to take up the post. I mean, in this office, to keep people working harder, faster, keep them on their toes, they've actually implemented a scare boss, which are like scare phones, but bosses to make people frightened into working harder.
In self-defence, workers frightened of being sacked are hiring job security guards who protect their jobs whenever they go to the toilet. A boss attempting to hand out a redundancy will meet professional resistance. Elsewhere, more subtle methods of self-protection are in use. Pregnant women face particular difficulties.
Take that down to the creche, will you?
Some women go to more drastic lengths, disguising their pregnancy by making themselves look bigger all over. But for those less fortunate, the only hope may be a black market job. These are offered by job touts, who snap up all available jobs from local employment centres and hang around office blocks selling them on for a profit.
Of course, tragically, Wallace and Gromit weren't on this Christmas for the first time since the birth of television, or in fact time. But I've got some exclusive security camera footage in my miniaturised area.
Oh, marvellous.
OK, now we're going to take a look at the shots of Wallace, first of all. Now, Wallace is outside his house. There's Wallace. Now, he looks a bit sad, but the clay lady's going to go. She doesn't fancy him. OK, now we're going to cut inside now on the security footage. There's Gromit there. What's he doing? Oh, no. It took 3 weeks to animate that turd, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my God!
It's still charming, though.
It is, actually.
So I don't know what's happened to television. It's going downhill. The standards are slipping all over the place. Children's TV, we've got the last ever Jackanory here. Just have a look at why they scrapped it.
She began f***ing about and noticed that what could be seen from the old room was quite common and uninteresting. But in another moment, with a little "oh" of surprise, she was down on her knees watching them. Here, something began squeaking on the table behind Alice and made her turn her head just in time to see one of the little white pawns roll over and begin f***ing.
It's nearly the end of the show and the start of another year. And yet again, there have been enormous strides in human knowledge. Advances in science have allowed us to prove the existence of fantastic miscarriages of justice in the 70s. We've made wonderful discoveries about institutionalised abuse in children's homes. And we're on the verge of establishing the first ever man-made link between BSE and CJD. Now, if you'd said 10 years ago such things were possible, you would have been laughed at for talking like a fool. or Arthur C. Clarke's grandmother. But on the night of the election, I put together my predictions for what the future might hold. Now it's time to look at some new advances. This is the Armistice Pish Podule, and we're going to put into it all the stupid theories that are clearly just pish just now. For example, theories such as that leaks from nuclear reactors have caused leukemia. In it goes. That's official pish. We'll lock them up in there until the year 2000 and then have a laugh as we see whether we were all backward fools in 1997. So, in go a few more. Here we are. Here's the claim, the pish claim, that the 250 deaths in police cells over the last 3 years were directly through mistreatment from the police, which is an unfeasible toss. Another one here, that local councils are infested with Freemasons, which is just child's fantasy, really. Another one here, that the Ministry of Agriculture has colluded with food manufacturers to allow dangerously low hygiene standards that lead to death, which is just old wives' piddle, really. That paedophile rings have formal links with social service groups and are involved in the disappearance of about 100 children a year, which could never happen in our lifetime. There's a good one, that farmers are being fatally poisoned with toxic sheep dip because of low standards of chemical inspection, which I'd love to think is true, but is obviously a myth. And finally, that British soldiers shot 17-year-old Argentinian prisoners of war in the back. In it goes, pish, all of it. But come back in 3 years' time and maybe we'll all look back and have a laugh. In the meantime, that's all for us. Until our new series, which starts next Friday at 9:35, we will leave you with another little message for the future. In 1971, Blue Peter buried a time capsule in their garden to be dug up in the year 2000, full of things to show what life was like for children in Britain. But we felt things had changed so much that we went back into the Blue Peter garden to put things right. Good night.
Look, planted for the year 2000. And then they're just going to chop it down.
Pick a nice chair, that is.
Right, go.
I've got them on my shoes. It's John
Blue Peter's time capsule, not to be opened before 2000. Oh, that's a shame.
No, right, we got it. Hey.
Oh, I remember this one.
Oh, I used to have that. Look, that's what kids of 1970 looked at. Right. This is what the kids of now look at.
There we are.
Where's the packs?
Oh, there they are.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks in that round the hooch. Is that everything? Yeah, okay.
Now, this is going to be opened on live television.